Saturday science talk of the semester. We have 4, one every month, February, March, April, and May, the first Saturday of the month. And today we are fortunate of having my friend and colleague, Professor Nash Mahmoud. So that, yes, pronunciation. He's in the Department of Computer Science in LSU. He graduated in Computer Science and PhD in Mississippi, right? Yeah. And came to LSU in 2015, and now he's an associate professor in that department. And he's going to talk about you does.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Monty. Again, my name is Nash. I'm here called Nash. First name, basically. Yeah. I come from the pretty funny. Got it.
By the way, when we mentioned that outside there are some demos that we prepared related to the topic, where we can play with demos and see what they have. So please, whenever we are done, stop by and take a look to play everything. It should be fun.
All right, okay, yeah. So, I come from the Computer Science and Engineering Department at LSU. It is the largest department right now at the College of Engineering. You ever seen LSU? This is our building. It's called PFP, or Patrick and Taylor Hall. It's a new building, an amazing facility we got. You get into LSU studying engineering, hopefully apply to there. Yeah, for years, maybe. This is where you're going to spend the next 4 or 5 years of your life. It's an amazing building. It has all the facilities that you want. It's very close to higher stadiums, so you can just walk. And so to be unique, so you can take food and all these things. I'm computer science. And, I think asked all the time, why do I teach computer science? And the answer is money. There's a lot of money. Now, this is just a small graphics of the average lifetime earnings for computer science major, and you can compare that to other college graduates. Now, the average college graduate ended up with $1.19 million lifetime earnings, but for computer science, almost $500,000 more. This is a recent statistic from 2 years ago. The interesting part is that if you go to college, you're not going to make as much money as you have a college degree. So don't listen to those who tell you that you need college to be successful in life. You need college. All right. So always think about that. That should be a goal after high school. Just pick a major, go to college, and get your degree. It does not take much. 3-4 years of your life, but it's a long, let's say, lifetime investment. That's going to pay off faster than you imagine. So keep that in mind. Now, if you go to college, you're going to end up in a major where you're going to make a lot of money. In computer science is a big All right, so when I first was invited to this event, I was not sure exactly what to talk about. We do a lot of technical things that probably going to be hard to explain, but I decided to pick one of the most recent projects I've been working on. I think you guys might be also excited about. So I studied mobile apps in my lab. So I have a group of PhD students, grad students, undergrad students who are doing their undergraduate degree in computer science. People are like 2-3 years older than you guys are. And we study apps. What do I mean by that? We study how to engineer apps, how to make apps from scratch. The first thing that we all do the minute we wake up is to go on our phones, right? And to do the last thing we do before we go to sleep. We're all day on our phones. I look at my students, for example, class. I usually ban technology in my class because my adult students will be on their phones all the time because they're taking technology. So we study this kind of behavior. Okay? Why is an app like TikTok? Why would you scroll there for like 4 or 5 hours non-stop? Next thing you know, it's midnight, you're still awake. Why does that happen? Why do these apps this addictive? So these are the kind of research questions we try to answer in my in my lab. I have graduated a lot of students, and they all got amazing jobs building apps and trying to solve these major problems with apps. So the app I'm going to be talking about today is called Professor Index. It's a new app that I created with the help of my students. I'm going to go in details of how we conceived the idea for this app and then how we put it out there. And hopefully throughout the explanation or the process, you guys are going to get a sense of how we build apps or how we do research in computer science. So the problem started during COVID. So I started noticing that in college, to each semester you have to take a certain number of classes to take. To get to a degree, okay, you have to finish a certain number of classes. And not unlike high school and college, you need to pick which professors you want to take a class with. Most of the time, especially the first year, second year, these courses are taught by like 5, 6, 7 people, sometimes like calculus one, so by like 15 different professors. So you get to pick the professors to take the class with. And I started noticing that my students, would pick certain professors over others, would like spend a lot of their time or go out of their way, take like a really early class in the morning, 7:30 in the morning class, or like 7 p.m. at night, just to take a certain professor. And for me, that was a little bit strange. Like, what difference does it make? How do you know which professors to take, especially if you've never been to college with one of these people? And the answer they always got was Grade My Professor. So it turns out there's a platform out there, a website called Grade My Professor, where students go there and leave reviews about their professors. So I took the class with Yvonne. Okay, I had an amazing experience. I go online, like, the class was amazing. I got an A. It's lightweight, not a lot of homework, exams were easy, I highly recommend it. So the students, turns out they made up their minds which professors to take or which classes to take based on this platform. Now before COVID, the way the students made their minds, they would talk to each other. Which professors do you recommend I take for this class? And they would, give them advice. But during COVID, we all went back home. And there was no way you could talk to other people. It was really hard to communicate with other people in college. Because, unlike high school where most people are local, college, people come from different places. We went back home for COVID. They had no access to their friends anymore. So you would go online to learn more about the professors. So this platform became so popular. Okay? Now, for me, that was really bad news because I know about that platform from back in the day, and it had a lot of problems in it. One of the most problems in this platform is misinformation. What does that mean? So it turns out that, let's say I had a class with Yvonne. I did not enjoy my time in that class. I can go and rate my professors and leave Yvonne 20 bad reviews. And the platform won't stop me. So I can destroy his reputation and tell the world he's the most evil person, even though the problem was me. Right? I mean, I did that in class, I didn't pay attention, I failed my exams, and I took it all out of the professor. Turns out that we started analyzing the data there. So me and my students, we got all the data from this website and analyzed the data using certain machine learning models, AI models. And we found that more than 30% of the reviews and the ratings that were actually fake. Where the same students would go and leave either like 20 bad reviews or 20 good reviews for the same professor. So they can trash their reputation or give them like inflated ratings and reviews. And this kind of really led to a lot of students making bad decisions. So students would avoid certain professor. I knew it was an amazing professor, but they would avoid them because they read some bad reviews about them online. Turns out this is how the world works for more like if you, for example, want to go out for lunch after or lunch dinner after this meeting. You go on Google and you see a bad review for a restaurant, you're not going to go to that restaurant. But it might be just one customer, right? People had a bad experience, maybe they did not like the food, or they were just having a bad day, they went online and took their life on that restaurant. Sadly, most people get influenced by that one first review they read. And then the restaurant is just losing money, and the waters are actually there. You can also be impacted by this. The same thing in the world of college, these fake ratings and reviews created a problem. Another thing is that the platform, if you go on it, it's free. An old platform was designed in the late 90s, none of you were born. Back then it took me 4 minutes. Yeah. And it still had that older design that's a lot of ads, you don't need to know what you're looking at. It's just a messy platform. And it had what we call a bias problem. So Turns out when I looked more to that platform that all our students were using, it was actually created as a joke. It was a couple three people who wanted to joke around their professors, so they created a platform to make fun of their professors. And then suddenly it took off and became the platform for writing professors because there was no other platform to compete with it. So it had a lot of major what we call bias problems, which means they would make fun of any professor who had an accent. They would make fun of any professor who did not look the way they expected the professor to look. So it had all these issues in it. The more we looked into it, the more we discovered how broken that platform is. But again, it was the only option for our students. And again, during COVID, there's no way you can talk to your friends or people face to face. So you have to go online to get information. So we got to work, me, my team, and I, PhD students and undergrad students, and people a little bit older than you guys, and we started engineering a new system. Like, okay, the only way this can go away is another platform comes in that is cleaner, more usable, and people make the switch. Just like when, again, you guys probably also too young to remember that. We're not even born, but when Facebook came out in 2006, it was another platform called MySpace. It was a social media platform that was you know MySpace. So MySpace was an older social media platform that millions of people were using. But it was a really bad platform. It was outdated, it's a lot of spyware, it's a lot of things that you don't want to see. It was a mess. But it was the only platform, so people had no other choice. And then Facebook came in. It was clean, nice platform. It was really cool because the first was open to college students only. So the parents were not there, so it was really a cool platform. And so Facebook, within a year, pushed MySpace off the market and replaced it with something new. So we started working. So the first thing we do whenever we want to design a new software system, a new app, is to talk to people. So I started meeting with students. Okay? This is what we call requirements engineering. So what do you guys require in a new platform? We all know that this current platform is not good. Okay? It's full of ads, you cannot see anything, there's a lot of misinformation. It's just not good enough for 2022 or 2023 to start working on the platform. So I started talking to students and getting their requirements, writing down what do you want in a new platform. Like for example, now if I talk to you about, let's say, Instagram. So Instagram, by the way, is dying out. So TikTok is winning a lot of market share, and Instagram is kind of the only experience of spike. By the way, the number of users 2 weeks ago when TikTok was banned for 24 hours. So a lot of people migrated to Instagram. And it was very interesting to see how people were mad about Instagram because the Reels did not hit the same as TikTok videos, right? You guys agree with that? You guys on TikTok? By show of hands, how many of y'all have TikTok in their phones? Don't lie.
I deleted it
figured.
whenever it got banned, and now I can't have it anymore.
So it's the same thing. You know, start talking to students and what are the problems with the existing platform. So we covered a lot of what we call requirements or like the needs. Okay, this is how we imagine a new platform for professor evaluation would look like. So we took all these requirements and we moved to the design work. So first, again, we start sketching out how that system should look like. This is, by the way, this is the first sketch of Twitter. So when the founder of Twitter was working somewhere in St. Louis, Facebook was just coming out and people were sharing a lot of information on Facebook. But he felt like people were sharing a lot on Facebook. They were sharing pictures, videos, status updates, whatever. It's a lot of information. Like, what if we have a platform where just people can express their opinion in 140 characters? So we sketched out that design on a piece of paper. This is that piece of paper. And he went to his boss and he was like, I have an idea. This idea was sold 2 years ago for $40 billion. And now it's still fixed. But that's how we start design, software design. I have an idea. I use Instagram. I hate Instagram for some reason, I don't know why. I've been brainwashed by TikTok. But like whenever I go to Instagram, I was like, there's a lot of things I can change with this platform to make it better. You know, the way you display images, the way just the stories, is just too many things that are happening on my screen that I don't necessarily want to look at. There's also a lot of ads. Like I don't know, am I looking at my friends or ads or something being pushed at me? So in my head, it's like I want to design the next Instagram, so I always create sketches just like that. So it's what we call software design on a piece of paper before we even write a single line of code, before we start programming the app. Then we move from papers to actual what we call design. So we go on a whiteboard just like this, and we sketch out how we imagine the app to look like. Okay, the number of screens we're going to have. How easy is it for people to post reviews for their professors or consume information? Okay, can we make the app user friendly? Okay, what about the colors that we're going to pick? Okay, what are how do people respond to different colors? So we are not experts. We had a light mode and a dark mode in the classroom, and 99% of the students wanted the dark mode on the app. Only one person wanted the light mode. Which is, again, this is something Gen Z is obsessed with. That all the apps have to be the dark mode. Something, again, we learned from talking to college students. Because that's our target audience. Okay? I'm not building this app for adults who graduated. I'm building this app for college-age adults. Because that's my main target user. So we started doing a lot of design like that. Once we were happy with it, we had some students, just like you guys here, we showed them the design, change more of the stuff. That's how the process goes. All about feedback from the people, from the public. Which is the way, by the way, whenever Instagram or TikTok or Facebook roll out a new feature, they have focus groups. So they bring in different age groups of people. Like, what do you think of this copy? Okay, what do you think of this change? Do you like this concept? Do you hate this concept? And once we've settled on the design, we got to a more serious stage where we started building actual screens. Okay? So we started designing the app itself. So you see here, it's a dark mode app. This is a computer science department, right here. So, and these are the professors right now in the computer science department. And you see here, there's a tiny number next to each professor. That's their rating. Okay? So Aisha, my friend, she's rated 5 out of 5. People love her. Okay. Gerald, he's also my friend, but he's ranked 2 out of 5 for one of the classes. So we start showing these designs to the students. What do you think of this design? Is this cleaner than great professors? Is this something you guys want to do or want to use? And we keep getting positive feedbacks, and the feedback was negative, so we'll go back and fix things. We also added this feature where you can just click on the course, and you see all the professors teaching the course, and you see the ratings. You click on their ratings, you go to their profiles, and you see why they rated really high or really low for this class. Again, in the literature, the scientific literature, there's a lot of research about why do certain people drop out of college. Okay? People get excited about, okay, I want to study, for example, biology, I want to study physics, I want to study computer science, I want to study art. And then people go to college and they drop out after one semester. Turns out a major reason is because they end up selecting the wrong professor. You take an intro class like Calculus 1 or Intro to Computer Science or Intro to Art and Design, you end up with a professor who's not probably a young professor, didn't have time or enough experience, they had a bad experience in that class. A lot of students would assume that this is how it's going to be for the next 4 years, so they drop out. So selecting the right professor in college could really make or break you. So what we did here is that any class you want to take, you click on the class, then you see the ratings of all the professors teaching the class, then you can pick the ones that match or align with your preferences. Again, what also we did is that we had this something like graded score. So an entire department. Let's say you want to study computer science, or you want to study physics, you want to study art. There's a lot of options here at NPGM, right? Assuming you want to stay local, which you should. We have a lot of amazing universities. But you're not sure which university you should pick. Okay? So you can go to computer science at LSU, and you see that department is ranked as 4, which is great ranking, which means students, again, based on students' input, they think the computer science department at LSU is really a good department to study. So all that information should help you pick the right major, pick the right professor, and hopefully graduate within time. Okay? So this was the design that we went with. A lot of principles into this design. I'll give an example. So, I don't know if you have ever visited this website, Yahoo? Yes. Alright, very good. So before we had Google search, it was all about Google search. Alright. So the website, the problem is it's a search engine. But if you look at the screen, you see how rich the screen is? You always see like news, you see the weather, ads, social media links, stuff like life, shopping, whatever. That people don't really care about. Okay? It's too crowded, right? And this is one of the core design principles that we followed when we were designing our app. That this is a big mistake. Don't do that because people don't like that. Whenever people want to go search, people want to see this. See the difference? This minimalistic design. And that's how Google won the game, by the way. Because when you have was the search engine to be on, okay? And the whole world used Yahoo to look like that. It was even worse than this. So you take 5, 6 minutes to know exactly, and then the search results themselves were not that good. When Google came out, they were like, you know what? We are a search engine. That's it. So this is how the screen is going to look like. And this is exactly what we did in our design. We kept it to the minimum design. So exactly what people wanted to see. There's no need to load the app with too many features. It's not going to be good. Think about, again, TikTok versus Instagram. So TikTok, the whole screen is a video, right? Where you scroll down, and that's it. And that's what people want to see, okay? I don't want to see the stories all the time. I don't want to see the messages coming from this way, the comments coming from, I want to see the whole screen. And that's how TikTok won the market share, a huge market share. They had an amazing design. Let's cut all the unnecessary thing and focus on what really matters. Okay? Keep that thing in mind. This applies everywhere in life. This is more. So just try always to give people what they want, minimize distractions. So after we did the design, we went into coding. All right, now this is a serious step. Up to this stage, we only had an idea. We had some sketches on a whiteboard, we had some designs on PowerPoint and Adobe. Things that look really cool, but we still didn't have a part. It's like, I want to design a new library for Baton. I love this library, by the way, but assuming when we build a new library, the first thing we do is start talking to people, right? What do you want in a new library? What are the things that you did not like about this library? You want to see it included in the next library. Then we go and create the designs. So we have multiple designs, and then we ask people which one you think is the best. And once people decide on the design that meets all their needs or the requirements of the public, we start building. And that's what we get to coding. Now, if you study computer science at LSU, we're going to teach you how to code, how to build apps from scratch. So turn your ideas, your paper sketches, into actual ideas. There's a lot of ways to be used. There's a lot of programming languages out there. So, of course, it's a huge app, so I couldn't code it on my own. So I had to use help from other students. So I turned to my students. I have, again, a lot of students in computer science, 2 to 3 years older than you guys, 18, 19, 20 years old. And we got coding together. In 6 months, we were able to finish and code the whole app. And then after we finished coding the app, now we have an actual app that they installed their phones, which was really, really cool. It's always cool to see your ideas, your vision turn into something tangible that actually people look at and using. And there's a lot about computer science. Unlike other engineering disciplines, like if you're in civil engineering or like mechanical or electrical, to build a product, it takes a lot of money, resources, just to buy the material. For computer science, to build a new product, you just need a few people, a couple computers, and you're good to go. All you have to do is translate your ideas into code. Okay, that we can create an app, a product, and then push it to the App Store. That's all it takes. Okay, so I had my students and I coding for 6 months. We had our product, and we put it on the App Store, and then we started testing. Okay, so again, by testing, I would go to a classroom at LSU, introduce myself, show them the app, and ask them to use the app for like an hour, and just see the way they react to the app. If they look, and usually they look like, oh, this is ugly. Do they like the app? So start reading their faces and liking their emotions. Okay? It's exactly how, again, apps, which are like Snapchat, for example. Snapchat, by the way, is one of the most innovative apps out there. It was the first app to come up with the idea of disappearing messages, which was a big thing back in the day. Because before Snapchat, whenever people would send a message on a text message or on Facebook, that message would be there forever. And you didn't want that, right? You wanted the message to disappear. So Snapchat came up with the idea. And then other apps are doing it. So Snapchat came up with the idea of Snap Stories, which stuff that would appear only for like 24 hours and disappear, which was really cool. Right? The other apps not have that. So Snapchat was able to stay relevant. And then other apps stole the idea of Snap Stories. Right? So what happened is Facebook tried to buy Snapchat, and Snapchat refused to sell. So the next morning, Facebook rolled out Instagram stories and Facebook stories. And we were successful. But Snapchat had to fire back with something else that made them stay relevant. You guys know what that means? Or was it? Filters. The puppy filter is what saved Snapchat from going bankrupt. It was the first app to actually roll out filters. And now all apps out there, they have filters by default, right? By the way, this is something we also studied in my lab, how filters now are becoming a problem. Because turns out there's a good percentage of teenagers who can no longer look at themselves in the mirror. They have to look at themselves through the TikTok app because it has the filters already on. So a lot of teenagers would remove their mirrors from their bedroom, they would cover the mirrors with like a blanket or stuff, whatever. Because you can no longer look at themselves in the, so they have to look at, which is something again we studied within the psychology department. That's another side effect now. But that's behind the side effect. And then yeah, when other apps started using filters, also Snapchat almost died. But then they came up with something else that made them survive longer. You know what that is? The streak. The Snap streak. Why do people get obsessed with the Snap? No one knows. I lost my streak last year with a person I really care about, and I had to pay $1.99 to restore the streak. Don't ever do that, by the way, it's not worth it. If you lose the streak, the relationship is over. It's a joke. It's not over. But that's the thing about Snapchat. So Snapchat actually, how it managed to stay relevant is beyond me. But they have brilliant engineers who talk to people all the time. Okay? So the app keeps dying and coming back. Like 2 years ago, I would ask students in my class, who here uses Snapchat? I would see a single hand. But now, it turns out Snapchat is becoming popular again. So it keeps going up and down. It's all about innovation, like pushing the limits. Come up with the new things, more filters, streaks, stories, whatever it takes to stay relevant. And that's how apps survive. You keep innovating. Okay? What do you think Instagram broke out Snap, like Instagram Reels? Same thing for Facebook Shorts, YouTube Shorts. Sometimes you don't even know what app you're on anymore, right? You're on Facebook Reels, but am I on TikTok? Is this YouTube Shorts? They all look the same. Why do you think that happened? Because again, TikTok was winning huge market share. They were losing, Facebook were losing a lot of people to TikTok. So they had to win back some of these customers. And that's why they banned TikTok, by the way, 2 weeks ago. It had nothing to do with whatever they talked about. It's just all just a game. Because TikTok was, again, a lot of US-based users were using that app. And for the US government, for US workers, for Silicon Valley, that's a problem. So the US government were like, you know what, if we won't, we can actually do that. And TikTok lost a lot of money during that $1 ban. So, and a lot of people went to Instagram and they realized Instagram was really, really bad. So after we did testing, we started doing the large scale. This is me speaking to 300 people last semester, telling them about the app. And so this is the part where it took the most work. I did not think it would be the most. It was not. The hardest part of building this app was not actually coming up with the requirements or building the app itself. It was actually marketing. How do I convince people that this is a better alternative? When Facebook came out, a lot of people refused to switch from MySpace to Facebook because they really loved MySpace. So this is the same thing when Google search came out. A lot of people refused to switch from Yahoo search to Google search. People take a lot of time before they make the transition because they're kind of something like emotional attachment to these apps. Because again, we spend most of our days on these apps. From the minute we wake up to the minute we go to sleep, we are on our phones. Okay. So this was me introducing the app to like 300 students last semester and trying to get more and more people to install and participate. Now, how many people? So to start to build an app like this, okay, how many people do you think it takes to take an app from like a vision to an actual app? 3. It's actually 3 people. That's the number that you want. Okay. So remember this picture. The hamster, the hacker, and the hustler. Most of the apps out there that you guys use and love. I'm not there for the older people. But Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, DoorDash, Uber, Airbnb. They were all built by only 2, 3 people. That's it. So we call them the hamster, hustler, and the hacker. So the hacker is the person who actually writes the code, the person who programs the app and creates something out of it. Okay? The hipster is the person who will tell you that whatever you built looks good or looks bad. Okay? I have my hipster. She's an amazing student. She's been working with me for 2-3 years. And sometimes I would spend 24 hours working on something in the app, changing the color, and in the morning, I'd be like, this looks really bad. So I just go ahead and change. I trust her opinion because she's trained, professional, hipster. She's saying that she graphic design LLC. So she knows what she's talking about. As long as you have that person on your side, your app is going to look really cool. It's going to look clean, it's going to look nice. And then you have the hustler, which is I would say, the most demanding part of this trio. Because the hustler is the person who has to go out there and talk to people about that app. Okay? Again, Facebook did not become Facebook like overnight. They had a lot of people walking around and talking about it. Okay? Till they got their first $500,000 investment, they were actually able to reach out to college students and talk to them about it. Because back in the day, Facebook was only limited to college students. And again, it was really, really cool. And then at some point, we opened it up to everyone, and now it got this way. Does that. But the hipster, the hacker, and the hustler. And here's good news for you guys. Believe it or not, but most of these apps were started by people who are around your age, maybe 2 or 3 years older than you guys. So this is the Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, and his dorm room with his friends. 3 people working on the first cloud with Facebook. That's all the 3 people. And now they control the world. Mark Zuckerberg, last 2 or 3 times on TV was actually the president. Right? A lot of power these people have. But it all started, people in their dorm rooms, 18, 19, 20 years old, with an amazing idea. You guys are the next generation, so I'm sure, again, you spend a lot of your time in these apps. I'm sure you have amazing ideas. You want to change the existing apps, you want to come with newer apps, better apps. That's all it takes. Find YouTube people, found your hipster, your hacker, and your hustler, and then you launch the app. So, since our launch, we launched back in March last year. We added 18 universities to the app. So now if you go to the app, there are 18 universities where we added all the professors, all the courses, all the classes. We're in this more than 59,000 professors now in the app. We added them from these universities. And the app has been downloaded 21,000 times. I'm very proud of that. This is something that, again, we built 6 months ago. Already, you know, it means that 20,000 people right now walking around with our app on their phones. And you cannot wait for a price for that. It's just that feeling that, some people are actually using your app and benefiting from the app, and that feeling. I see this a lot, walk around college, students trying to sign up for classes, and they're using the app to pick professors, to pick classes, to pick their majors. They're just using my app, and the other day I was at Lighthouse Coffee, it's very close to LSU. There's a group of students, and they were all in the app. And I was sitting next to them, I was like, I can't build this. It made me so happy. All right. So that's my story, and that's how we again engineer software systems. We'll start from an existing problem, something we're not happy with. Then we talk to people. Then we go to the whiteboard. Then we design. Then we get to work. We build a thing. Then we start the hustle. Walk around and tell people about it. Okay. Then we start to improve, just like Snapchat. Okay, I'm not going to let any filters anytime soon in my app, but it's a good idea. Filters or streaks, but I do actually have a streak in my app. So if you got something in the app, you'll give me a status score, and if you get to a certain level, you get a $20 gift card to Amazon. I did that actually. I got me 2,000 users, but I lost a lot of money because I was paying for my own money. But also, another thing that I had to say before, whenever your app started growing beyond a certain point, now investors are going to be interested. Okay? Why was Twitter sold for $40 billion? Why is DoorDash worth $56 billion? Insane. Well, because these apps make money. Okay, Instagram, I don't know, $100 billion. YouTube was sold for $1.6 billion in 2006. And now it's worth 71 billion. Insane numbers, like you cannot even fathom these numbers. Why? Because you get more users, more traction, more ads. And I got approached by some investors. I got my first offer 2 months ago. It wasn't what I wanted, it was just like $500,000. But they wanted like a big share of that. So we're still looking into investors, trying to grow this thing to the next level. Okay, go even more public with it. So if you wanna scan the code right now. It's going to take you to the App Store. If you're going to be going to college soon, You want this out of your bill, and it's for your parents. Even if you're not there, you can look at your parents. So let's see right here. Mouse is the highest person. So, you can need the app again. You cannot create an account right now because you're not an LC student, but you can continue as a guest, and you can see how the app looks like. Again, this is something that was designed by students, just like you guys. And now we're looking at the future of professor ratings. If you're ever going to go to college, hopefully at some point, this is going to be happening to you. You guys continue as a guest. Unless you have an LC email, you can subscribe. But if you don't, you can continue as a guest and you can browse. Show it to your parents. Okay, I'm sitting with the LC. It might be interesting. Any questions? All right, yes.
So right now, there's only 17 universities on there. Are they working with the new?
Yeah. So right now we're thinking about expanding nationwide. So we're getting a lot of requests. We have an option for people to suggest that we want their universities there. We have about 600 universities in the pipeline to add. But before we do that, we try to expand for Louisiana. So far we have 20,000 users at LSU, and Tulane and schools like that. We're trying to expand, get more users in Louisiana, and then we can expand outside of Louisiana because we need money to do that. We need student ambassadors, people can go on Instagram or TikTok and tell their friends about it. There's a couple of influencers at LSU campus. Right? Who's the most popular influencer right now at LSU campus? Yeah. On TikTok. Libby Dunn. You know she charges like $250,000 per TikTok? So, yeah. But we're looking for micro-influencers. We're looking for people with like 10,000, 20,000 followers, and we pay them like $500 just to talk about us. So we just put the app, like today I signed up for classes using this app, and this will get some traction. But these are 19 years old charging $500 per TikTok. That's also insane. That's pretty cool. Yeah, just what's her name? Addison Brady. She's the most popular person on TikTok. She was actually a student at LSU. Yeah. She dropped out and she became really popular. Don't drop out of college, okay? It's not worth it. That's pretty nice. Alright, any questions? Come on. You can ask anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what makes us like great brain.
Oh, Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg was a hacker. Yeah, he was the one who built that app. He had a problem with communicating with people. Still, until today, he actually had to do a lot of training to be able to talk to people. So he was never a hustler. A hustler, but he's an amazing programmer. Yeah.
Are you a Rondo fan?
What?
Are you a Rondo fan?
No, you know what? I knew that TikTok was actually abandoned in my house. This is just too big to ban, so I never switched to TikTok and came back.
Isn't computer science going to be really saturated soon?
No. That's the misconception. The future is AI. It's over, all right? We need more people. Okay? The only problem we have at LSU is that we cannot graduate people at the same rate that the industry expects us to. So we always have a shortage of computer science graduates. Our students are finishing their degrees, but the third year they're getting jobs lined up for them, $100,000, $120,000. So just again, people are about 60 years older than you guys. So no, the market is not saturated at all. Questions about apps, software engineering, computer science? I'll be around. So
Is it only for undergrad courses or also?
yeah, for now it's for undergrad, but grad student wants to just a course we can add. So there's always students can suggest like this is a professor we met. Yeah, I know. I checked for it. There's only teach grad stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why. But you get suggestions about that, right?
Give me high points. Or wisdom. Take a check.
A teacher retires, can you see that they don't work at
Yeah.
college anymore?
Yeah, so whenever a professor moves, because professors move around a lot, different universities, we just right away, students we did this person move, and we just moved it. And they retire, we just move them from that. So we rely on students to keep us informed what is happening in their college. So the first thing we do, we look at all the courses and all the professors that we are online, and we start taking based on the students. It's called crowdsourcing. Think that crowd, the performance.
Any other question?
Alright.
If not,
We're turning into X. That's an amazing question. That's $1 million question. It's really bad. And the platform is dying. And I don't think it's going to survive unless there's like a major change in the way they're running things right now. I don't think the app is going to survive. It's a really bad thing.
one more? If not, let me join me in thanking Ashley.